like I feel like this is going to feel like a middle grade, purely based on the fantastical world. It's clearly all set in water. I mean, the name is Water Moon. I'm rambling now. So I like it. It sounds like I don't like it. That's not true. I am enjoying this story. It's just I have no idea where we're gonna go or why I feel so meh right now about it. There was so much I had to get through to get to the ending. So I'm like, was it even worth it? Maybe. Maybe it was. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Hey everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're about to get very, very nerdy with a hyped book vlog. This is a series I've been doing for a little bit of time where I read a book or a series that is hyped in some way and give you my spoilery-ish thoughts on them. So for this edition, I have decided that the one that we are going to be reading, if you don't already know by the title and the thumbnail and all the fun stuff, is Water Moon. This is by Samantha Soto Yumbo, and I picked this one up from my used local book warehouse earlier this year with the purpose of doing a video like this. So this book came out earlier this year, and I think everybody, I don't know what a lot of people thought after reading it, but I know a lot of people picked this book up. So I don't know if the consensus is if it's good or not. I just know that this was really, really popular and people really were interested in this book. I haven't read anything like this. I'm not sure if it's translated or not. I feel like the answer to that is no, but it is a cozy, fantastical, feel-good story. There's a subgenre, and I can't remember what it's called, but it says here that this book is about a woman inherits a pawn shop where you can sell your regrets, and then embarks on a magical journey when a charming young physicist wanders into the shop in this dreamlike and enchanting fantasy novel. This author has written quite a few things actually before this, but it is one that I'm very interested in. It's absolutely stunning. Like, if you take the cover off of the book, it has this beautiful hardcover underneath it, and then under the dust jacket is also very pretty, and it's got all these like lines that if you look in the inside dust jacket, either way, it tells you how to fold the cover to make a boat, and then like if you notice the people's faces, like they would be on the sides of the boat. I don't think I'd ever do that because like I want to have a cover for this book, but I like the idea of it, and like I don't know, there's just something really, really beautiful about this book. So because it was a really, really pretty edition, I did pick it up because of that, but I don't know what to expect with this. Like, I expect to feel some things, I'm pretty sure. I'll go ahead, actually, I know I just read to you like the little itty bitty short synopsis, but I'm going to go ahead and just read to you what the synopsis says as a whole, because I feel like that'll give us a better idea of what to expect. So this says, on the back street in Tokyo lies a pawn shop, but not everyone can find it. Most will see a cozy ramen restaurant, and only the chosen ones, those who are lost, will find a place to pawn their life choices and deepest regrets. Hana wakes on her first morning as the pawn shop's new owner to find it ramshackled, the shop's most precious acquisition stolen, and her father missing. And then into the shop stumbles a charming stranger, quite unlike its other customers, for he offers help instead of seeking it. Together, they must journey through a mystical world and to find Hana's father and the stolen choice. By way of rain puddles, rides on paper cranes, the bridge between midnight and morning, and a night market in the clouds. But as they get closer to the truth, Hana must reveal a secret of her own and risk making a choice that she will never be able to take back. So there's a mystery element with her trying to find her dad. There's a like I feel like this is going to feel like a middle grade, purely based on the fantastical world. It's clearly all set in water. I mean, the name is Water Moon, but like based on that, where it says like puddles and paper cranes and things like that. It just feels like it's going to be very fun, whimsical, fantastical. So I'm coming to you because I'm not sure when I'm going to start this, but I know I'm going to start this relatively sooner rather than later, and I wanted to have started this vlog so that I can get my thoughts going in. I feel like it's going to have its moments. I feel like there may be a romance in here. I feel like these are my predictions going in. I feel like we're definitely going to have some deeper conversations since like people trade in their regrets or whatever it's called. And so I feel like we're going to have a lot of deeper conversations in here, but I honestly don't know what to expect because I've never read a book like this. So I'm going in, I mean, I know what it's about, but I feel like I'm going in basically blind. So those are my thoughts. I will come back to you. I don't know if it'll be when I've gone halfway through this book or if I will check in sooner than that. But once I start reading this book, I'll come back to you and we'll see how it's going. I'm excited. Like, I don't know what to expect, but I'm excited. Last night, I made it to the third part in Watermoon, which according to Goodreads is like 50%. Looks pretty halfway for me. So I stopped. Also, it was bedtime and I needed to go to sleep. And I'm here to tell you initial thoughts. That is said part 3. We're on chapter 29, page 183. And this is an interesting experience for me because the writing is amazing. It's fantastic. There are a lot of moments, especially early on, where our main character, Hannah, or her dad, look at the world in a way that I'm like, I like the way that is described. So the writing is fantastic. It has this very amazing and very interesting way of looking at the world. Like, okay, so the book starts with Hannah and her dad are in this pawn shop. I think I told you a little bit about it when I came to you initially, but it's this pawn shop where you can sell a regret from your life. And then once you leave the shop, you kind of forget that has happened, and then you can move on with your life in a certain way. For example, there's an example in this book of a woman who comes in and, well, first off, it looks like a ramen shop on the outside. And so people line up for ramen, and a lot of them, when they open the door, they go to a ramen shop and they just eat their ramen and they move on with their lives. The occasional person will open the store and end up in their pawn shop, and there's like a reason that they're there, something that has brought them in. So this woman chose stability with a man over her first love, and this is like the ramen shop that they used to go to, so she comes there occasionally, and so she basically gives up that regret so that she can live a happy life with her husband and stop kind of wondering what if. And that's an example of kind of the trade-off that they do. So like they give an item which this regret is attached to, and they are given a box of tea in return. And Hannah's father was the owner of this pawn shop, and she just kind of helped out. And this pawn shop is in like this other world, not the human world, this other world where like magic and fantastical things happen. So the book starts with basically Hannah's first day as owner, because her father has retired and now it's her first day kind of being the person in charge. So literally the first paragraph is, time has no borders except those people make. On this particular cold autumn day, Hannah fashioned that border out of the thinnest layer of skin. Eyelids were useful that way, because as long as she kept her eyelids shut, she could keep the two halves of her life apart. The 21 years she had lived before she opened her eyes, and all that was going to happen next. I think that's not the best quote, but I didn't like tab any, so I can't think of another one. But like, just, I don't know, just the way that things are described and worded is fascinating. But at the same time, like the writing is beautiful. It's my favorite part. The world itself is very interesting. It's got like puddles and pieces of water that you can jump through and end up places. I'm trying to think of the different things that have happened already. Her grandmother worked at a tea shop that you can only visit in your dreams. So they fall asleep and then they find this bridge that is the connection. I can't remember what it was. Connection between midnight and morning, I think is what it is. And so they go over this bridge to find the grandmother, and then you have to go back over the bridge, otherwise you won't wake up. Great. And then at one point they travel through paper, like they get folded through paper, and like I don't quite understand how that happened. And then at one point they're traveling to a museum, and in the museum, or on the way to the museum, they share a song, or like the guy who's helping her shares a song, and they, in this memory of a song, it creates a space, and so that's the ship, basically this room, that is taking them wherever they need to go. It is very inventive. I've never seen things like this. It's incredibly whimsical. It feels like a middle grade for adults. It feels like that book I read, She Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axio. Um, it feels very much like that. But at the same time, I can't figure out why I feel disconnected from the story, because like the plot is that Hana wakes up and her father is missing, and it looks like the place, the shop, the pawn shop, has been ramshackled, and he and one of the regrets, which take the form of birds, are missing. And there are people who they work for, who come to collect these regrets. And if one goes missing, you are sentenced to basically go to the human world, and it is believed that you basically disappear. It's like an execution. So that happened to her mother. So she believes her mother is dead. And it turns out her father actually does not believe that. He believes that his wife is still alive. So now that he has given the pawn shop over to his daughter, he basically makes it look like something happened in this store and it was robbed. And then he takes whatever it is that he needs, and he goes and he tries to figure out where his wife is. And so this guy shows up. Instead of going into a ramen shop, he ends up showing up in their pawn shop, and instead of asking for help, he offers help. And so he goes on this journey with Hana, to figure out like where her dad is. So like the plot is very interesting, and it's this like mystery because we don't know where her dad is. We have an idea of what he's doing, but we're trying to figure out where he is. But I don't know if it's just because it's so whimsical, or because like what is happening in the world and like all the things that they are doing are so ridiculous. I just like, this is probably gonna like, if I had to rate it right now, this would be a 3-star, because like I'm enjoying it. I'm like, every once in a while something happens and I want it, and I'm like interested to see where we're gonna go. Time is playing a big part in the story, like not necessarily time travel, but like they believe her dad is trying to bend time. We can go back and fix whatever happened to his wife. Like I don't know. But there's something about this that is just kind of making this feel like a meh read. Like it's a good read. It's very whimsical. It takes place in autumn, which is the vibe I'm in right now. So it's definitely appropriate for the time of year that I'm reading it in. I don't know if it's just like, I don't know. And there's like a little bit of a romance blooming between Hana and the guy that's helping her out. I think he goes by Key. I've been listening to this on audio. So I haven't actually seen his name written out, but I think he goes by Key. And it's just, all the parts are there to make this good. And for some reason, it's not sticking and hitting with me. And I don't understand why. Like, there's even a romance. And while it's like the tiniest, itty bittiest part, and it's not even really a romance, it's more like the stirrings before a romance. But like, even like if a book I'm not loving, but it has a romantic element in it, that usually is something that I can latch onto and ship them. so that and then I can enjoy the ride because I have something to root for. And that's not really happening here. Like, they're fine. I would love if they stayed together. They're very cute, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not being very good at describing what I think. Um, which is funny because like I think this book, there's a lot of people who are going to love this book and probably have loved this book. This is not the first book by this author, so I'm interested to see what other things are out there, because maybe like her writing is fantastic. Like, that's not the problem. I thought that was going to be the problem that I had with this book, was that the writing was going to be a little too much, and it's my favorite part. Like, if I cared more about if I cared more about the plot and what was happening in this book, I would be tabbing the crap out of this book. I thought about even purchasing the ebook so that I could tab on the go when I was listening to the audiobook. But at this rate, like, I'm going to pass this book to someone who I know wants to read it and would enjoy a beautiful book, because like, I'm probably never going to read this again. I don't know. I know this is like, that's a lot for the halfway point, but um like, it's not DNF worthy by any stretch of the imagination. I'm enjoying the world. I'm enjoying the writing. I just cannot find myself caring about the stakes in this book. And I don't know if it's because Hannah is very like nonchalant and like nothing phases her. Everything is just, even though she's in like the biggest danger of her life, everything is fine, and they'll figure it out. Like, nothing gets to her. And I mean, like, it does, but she doesn't show that. And so maybe because she feels detached from the world, I feel detached from the story. She also feels kind of like a kid, and I know she's not. Like, I actually don't know how old she is. I'm sure they've said, and I've just forgotten. But like, she's at least early teen. Like, she's at least 18. Um, I believe. And so the fact that, because like, he keeps calling her a woman, and and like, he finds her attractive, and so like, he has told her, I find you're a very attractive woman. And so like, he uses that word, which tells me that she's older, but because of the world, or whatever it is, she's very whimsical. It's very childlike. And so the fact that she is supposed to be older but feels really, really young is maybe also throwing me off, because I'm like, what is this child doing when she's not a child? I don't know. I'm rambling now. So I like it. It sounds like I don't like it. That's not true. I am enjoying this story. It's just, I have no idea where we're gonna go, or why I feel so meh right now about it. So hopefully the second half will be better. I'm curious to see where the plot goes. I'm curious to see where it concludes with her dad and her mom. We haven't had the little like crane boats yet, but I'm in a spot, not crane, but origami boats. But I'm in a spot where we are in an origami situation. That sounds weird. Like, we've gone to a museum which has origami cranes, and we've met the guy who makes them. So I have a feeling that we're about to get to this boat scene, which I'm actually quite interested to see what that's all about. But either way, this is where I'm at. I like it. It sounds like I don't, but I do like it. It's just very middle of the road for me. So, a couple of days ago, I finished Watermoon by Samantha Soto Yumbao. I ended up giving this one 4 stars, actually. So, it's so funny to me, because when I came to the halfway point, I was so sure that nothing was going to change. And while I still have all of the same feelings that I did, where most of this book was just middle of the road, the ending was fantastic, and there was multiple plot points and plot twists that I didn't see coming. Should I have seen coming? Maybe. But it, like, there's a secret. I know I've kind of gone spoilery in these videos, but there's a secret that involves both of our main, like, there's a secret that involves Hannah, and there's like a plot twist with her, and there's a secret that is all about Kai and his situation. And so there are a lot of full circle moments where like the regret that was released was him, and then like the one that her dad released in the very beginning of the book, and then the mistake or another regret that her mom, Hannah's mom, did was her. So like they're both part this world, part human world, and it's very trippy. But I was on the edge of my seat. There's a lot of like plot twists and things that like you needed the beginning of the book. You needed this build up from the beginning, and all the little like hints and things that we got along the way for the end to make sense. So I really liked it. Like I think the last like 20% of the book, 25% of the book, I was like on the edge of my seat. It was like the last, actually, no, it was much less than that because it was like the last hour of this audiobook, which is a very small portion of this book. I was like on the edge of my seat. I wanted to continue reading. I didn't do other things I should have been doing so that I could finish the book because I was like, I need to know what's happening. There was just something about these plot twists and turns that I they were so good. So like it doesn't make up for the fact that the very beginning of the book was a slog to me, and like the world is really confusing and it's so whimsical that you really have to disband all belief going in, which I don't think I really did because there's a lot of things that were happening that like I just couldn't wrap my brain around. And I think if I had gone in just being like, this is going to be ridiculous, this is going to be whimsical, it's going to be crazy, and like I knew that to an extent, but like I didn't really know what I was getting into until we started doing things. And I think if I had just gotten rid of my own like bias going into this book, a lot of that would have been fine. So that was confusing. I also think that Hana, like I mentioned in my last update, even though she is older, and like there's definitely a couple of scenes in here that are not described, but they are adult scenes, and she felt so young because she hasn't had a lot of world experience, and because in the world that she is part of, there is no falling in love per se. I mean, you can fall in love, but like you are you are foretold basically who you're going to marry. So like she knows who her end person is going to be, and like he's a part of the plot too. So it's like not a love triangle, but like it's a little bit of a love triangle in the sense of like our main two characters are clearly interested in each other, and then there's this guy over here who like we've been told is like her person, like where she's gonna marry this guy. He is the one, like he is her fate, and vice versa. It was such an interesting contrast because like this book is so whimsical and lighthearted, and like there's a lot of like fun weird stuff that happens in it, but underneath it it's this very sinister place. And like her job and her dad's job is basically like the regrets are part of people's souls, and so they're basically stealing people's souls and giving them to people in their world, and that's how their people have souls. And if they don't create enough souls for the amount of people that are being born, then like those people, the kids who don't get souls are like basically monsters, which then turn into like the big bad things of the world that are actually in charge. Like it's very confusing, but there is this very, very sinister undertone to this very whimsical situation and world. And so I don't even know what to think about this book. Like I definitely enjoyed it. It took a lot of time to get through it, and honestly, if I wasn't reading it for this vlog, there's a very good chance I would have DNF'd it about halfway because I just like it was fine. And like I think I said in my last update that I wasn't DNF worthy, but like that meh feeling continued for quite a while. And so I did think about DNFing at one point, but then I was like, that's silly for like this video for such a short book. Let me just finish it. It doesn't have that much time left on my audiobook. Like I can do it. And I'm glad I did because like the ending, there was so much I had to get through to get to the ending. So I'm like, was it even worth it? Maybe. Maybe it was. I don't know what I'm trying to say. So I think the moral of the story is there's definitely an audience for this. It is not the cozy mystery fantastic fantasy story that I expected it to be because of the stuff that I learned at the end. Like it gets dark fast, but it is very interesting. I've never read a world like this. I've never read a situation like this. It definitely has a different vibe to a lot of things that I've read. So I'm so glad I tried it because like I was always curious if books like this very cozy, whimsical, fantastical story, as it has been explained to me were for me. And they still might be, but maybe this one specifically isn't. I don't know. I just was so curious. I needed to know. And it's not a super long book, and I felt like it was worth giving the time to. And I think that the ending is worth it. I just think that you have to go in knowing that the beginning, and maybe you're one of the lucky ones where the beginning does sound great, but like the beginning was just very middle of the road for me. Like I didn't want to pick it up. I wanted to do other things. I wanted to read other things instead. So know that like you might have to weed through some stuff before you get to an ending that is worth it. So I don't know what the moral of this video is, of like, is this hyped? Yes, at least in my circles. Is it worth it? I think so, but I think, well, is the ending is worth the rest of the story. I don't know if the hype is worth it, because like there was nothing specific about this book that felt like, oh my god, everyone's going to love this and read this. So this one is probably going to, even though I gave it a 4-star and I still really enjoyed my time with it, I'm probably going to unhaul this book and give it to someone who's going to enjoy it more, because even though this book is absolutely gorgeous, I know I've showed it off before, like it's just going to sit on my shelves. I'm never going to read it again. So someone else can enjoy this. And there are loads of people out there that are going to love this book. I just think I was one of the ones where it was just kind of fine. Like, I'm glad I read it. I was very curious about the story, and now I know. I will definitely look into other things by this author, because like her writing was amazing, and I'm just curious what other things, because like in here I see 4 other books by this author, so I'm curious what other things that she has written, because I think it's really cool. I liked all the things about it. It was a very interesting world. It just took a lot for me to get invested in what was happening. So that is my opinions and thoughts on Watermoon. It was a very strange reading experience, because it started the book so meh, and it ended still meh, but a much higher meh, if that makes any sense. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you've read Watermoon, what you think about Watermoon. Is it something that sounds interesting to you? Is there other books like this that you think I would enjoy? Or other books that you would like to see something like this, where like there's a hyped vlog for? Let me know all of your thoughts down below. And if you want to comment something but you're not sure what to comment, comment water or a blue heart or something water-esque or blue, because this book is very blue. I can't tell you how many times I accidentally picked it up the wrong way because of like where this city is. It really threw me off. But if you like this video, and I very much hope that you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you want to be part of this awesome growing family. I've also got all my social media down there, as well as other fun bookish links, so check all that out, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.